For the first time in its history, AEW, that's All Elite Wrestling, is coming to our capital city. AEW Collision, making its debut tomorrow night live from the XL Center in downtown Hartford. And joining me right now to talk about the excitement for this big event is one of the men who's going to be in the championship main event, rubbing his hands together. He is so excited to be here. A multi-time champion in his own right, Adam Cole, joining us via Zoom from Orlando. Mr. Cole, thank you so much. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing excellent. I am more excited than ever for this Saturday, challenging for the World Tag Team Championships, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, glad to be here. I want to get to that tag team in a second, but I just want to give you the chance to sort of get people familiar with the AEW brand and with you. I mean, you spent some time with WWE, but tell us about yourself, about that ring persona, and about what makes AEW so different.
So for me personally, again, I've been wrestling for 15 years. I've had the pleasure of traveling all over the globe, getting to wrestle over in Europe, in Japan, in Australia, all through the United States, you name it. And I've been fortunate enough, too, to wrestle for a lot of different amazing wrestling companies as well. But then looking at AEW as a whole, the best way for me to describe it is AEW is like a rock concert roller coaster ride, man. Our live audience has such a great time. There's nothing like the live performance of All Elite Wrestling. So if you've never had the chance to go, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, it's definitely something you want to check out.
Does that help scratch that itch? You know, they always say, like, athletes want to be rock stars want to be athletes. It sounds like you're hitting, sort of threading the needle and doing both.
Oh, man, as a pro wrestler, you get to do it all. Like you said, you're a pro athlete, you're a stunt man, you're a rock star. In some cases, you're a comedian. You get to do a little bit of everything in pro wrestling. So, again, there's nothing in the world like it. I love it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Have you ever wrestled in Connecticut or in Hartford before?
I have wrestled in Connecticut before. I've actually won a world championship in Connecticut before. So Connecticut has a very, very special place in my heart.
That is wonderful. That is great. And you're doing so good with AEW. How's the expansion been for you and for the company now? You got 3 shows on cable. It's just a lot more wrestling to give to the fans.
Yeah. I think it's a really exciting time for pro wrestling as a whole, specifically for AEW being such a young company and seeing the absolute incredible growth over these past few years is awesome. And again, the reason we have 3 shows now is just there is more of a demand for pro wrestling, specifically for AEW. So seeing the expansion grow, I mean, but my God, we have a huge show in Wembley Stadium over in Europe in just a month's time. So it's really exciting. It's awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, let's talk about tomorrow night's main event. It's you and the World Heavyweight Champion MJF. A little bit of an odd couple tag team here. What's that going to be like?
Yeah, so it's been very interesting. Me and MJF, we started as rivals. He's not necessarily anyone you would consider someone that you'd want to be friends with. But spending time with him this past month, I've realized that we actually do have more of a connection than I thought. And I really think we have a good chance at becoming the World Tag Team Champions. We won a tournament to qualify for this matchup, FTR. They are right now the best tag team on the planet because they're the AEW World Tag Team Champions. So this is about as big a tag match as you can get right now in AEW, and I'm ready to win some gold, man. What
differences are there dynamically between just tag team wrestling in general and working solo?
Sure. So you have a lot more to focus on in a tag team match. Again, obviously, you're focused on your partner. You're focused on the 2 guys you're across the ring from. There's a lot more bodies in there. So again, your attention to detail and your attention to what your goal is heightened by a mile. So for me, myself, I generally have been a singles wrestler my entire career. So kind of dipping my toe into this tag team thing has been very exciting, very new, but I'm ready to rock and roll.
And as an old sports reporter myself, I've always talked to athletes about what it's like once everything is done, the recovery time. How much ibuprofen do you have to take? Do you spend time in the ice baths? What do you have to do to take care of your body?
Yeah. So a lot of things. I'll tell you what, there's one thing I started where years ago, I ended up having surgery on my shoulder, my tricep, and my elbow. Oof. And before then, I never really messed around with yoga at all. But ever since then, ever since 2015, doing that, even the most basic, simple form of yoga has been so wonderful for my recovery. Obviously, you have to be very careful about what you eat. It's very challenging sometimes, but making sure that next day that you get as much rest as possible is very important. And then depending on the matchup you're in, oh yeah, quite a few ibuprofens you're taking.
Yeah, but the flexibility sometimes, yeah, that matters more than the muscle mass.
Yeah.
You mentioned eating well. What's your cheat meal? If I have any meal in the world, not have to worry about the repercussions right now before a match, what would you have?
I'm not kidding. All day, and I've been like this since I was a child. But if I could sit down and have some all-you-can-eat crab legs, some snow crab legs, and dip them in all the butter I can find, and just eat them until I can't anymore. That is my all-time favorite cheat meal. Actually, every year for my birthday, I do that every single year.
It's a little bit of Maryland from the Pennsylvania native. All right, Mr. Cole, thank you so much for joining us. Doors open at 6:30. The action begins a little earlier than normal at 7:30. So it's going to be good. Family fun for everybody. Yep. Mr. Cole, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
In that tag team title match tomorrow. All right,
Appreciate it. Thank you.